Hey there, welcome to the Chronicle pregame show. I'm Ryan Hoerger alongside Brian Pollack. We're going to set up for Duke against Pittsburgh on senior day at Wallace Wade Stadium. We're going to kick it off at noon on Saturday afternoon. And Brian, really, this is a game that has some implications for bowl positioning of both these two teams. Had great starts to ACC play. They're both coming into this game on two-game losing streaks. Let's talk about Duke first. Duke, after the controversial loss to Miami, they had their rivalry game with North Carolina, and it did not go well. It was a 66-31 final. Duke was out of that game by halftime. It was 38-10 at intermission. Marquise Williams and the Tar Heel wide receivers had a field day. Williams really had career and school record performances by halftime. Duke, they threw over the top. Duke secondary could not keep up with North Carolina's wide receivers, and they really left the Blue Devils seeking a lot of answers coming off of that loss and throughout this week as they get ready to take on the Panthers, Brian.
Yeah, and Duke secondaries might be without another key member this week. DeAndre Singleton was listed on the injury report as probable with an upper body injury. He was removed from the second half of last week's game against the Tar Heels, and so it's still unclear if he'll play against Pitt, and if he does, how much and how effective he'll be, which is a potential hindrance for Duke going forward. More banged up news for the Blue Devils. Quarterback Thomas Sirk, was listed as a surprise occurrence on the injury report. He was listed as questionable with an undisclosed upper body injury, so that bears watching. If he can't go, backup quarterback Parker Bamey will come in and likely receive the starting nod. Bamey's received very sparing looks thus far this season, mostly as the Wildcat quarterback or in goal line situations, to varying degrees of success. He threw the ball very well in the fourth quarter against Army, but other than that has been pretty inconsistent. Running back Sean Wilson will be out again, second straight week for the Blue Devils. But running back Jalay Duncan stepped in last week and really had a nice game in his place. So in the backfield, the Blue Devils will probably be able to weather that loss, but otherwise they're hurting a little bit against a pretty dangerous Pitt squad.
Yeah, and you get Sirk. Sirk is leading Duke in both passing, obviously, and rushing yardage. So that's a really key weapon. It could be, not 100% if he plays at all on Saturday. When you look at the Panthers, Brian, Pitt has a big explosive weapon on the outside in receiver Tyler Boyd, All-America honors a season ago. Really complements Chad Wojtek under center very well. Very fast, can get open, can really do whatever he wants to do. And he's really torched the Blue Devils in the last couple of games. Duke has played Pitt the last 2 years. Both of those games were absolute shootouts. 109 combined points last year, or in the past couple of games. Both of those games in the 50s, I should say. And Boyd has eclipsed 100 yards both games. Had 2 touchdowns as a freshman down here. The last time he was down here in Durham in a Pitt win. But really, Brian, Pitt suffered a really big blow early in the year when James Conner, their big physical running back, went down. He's going to miss Saturday's game. He hasn't really played since the opening part of the season in September. But in his place, they've kind of filled that gap with KG Olson, who's averaging more than 5 yards per carry. He's really done a nice job filling in for the injured Conner. And really, they've got a surprise back last weekend against Notre Dame. Brian, I want to talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So safety Jordan Whitehead has been one of the best players for Pitt on the defensive side of the ball. Leads the team in tackles. It's kind of been all over the field for them. But last week they mixed it up and put him in on offense, and it went quite well. He had big success, Ryan. 4 carries for 27 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kind of going old school playing on both sides of the ball. So that's something that Duke head coach David Cutcliffe said they're really going to need to look out for. That kind of versatility from Whitehead is very dangerous to game plan for. And so it'll be interesting to see how the Panthers use him, what kind of roles they put him in. And he's really helped jumpstart that Pitt squad that, as you mentioned, had to deal with the Conner loss. After that injury, most people did not project Pittsburgh to do well, but here they are sitting at 4-1 in the ACC. A couple of game-winning kicks from kicker Chris Blewett earlier in the year really helped them gain some momentum. And they're sitting, if North Carolina slips up this week, Pitt is in position to retake the ACC Coastal. So.
Right, and you look at Pitt really quickly. You mentioned Pat Narduzzi is their head coach, first-year defensive coordinator for Michigan State for the past couple of years. Has really revitalized Pittsburgh's defense, which has been a soft spot the last couple of years. Playing much better on that side of the ball this year. So we may not see the type of shootout that we've seen the last couple of times the two teams have gotten together, Brian. So that's something to watch out for as well. So Duke and Pittsburgh, senior day, Wallace Wade Stadium. Last home game for people like Shaquille Powell, Jeremy Cash, some of the people that have helped put the Blue Devils back on the map in the world of college football. So big game for the Blue Devils at noon on Saturday. For Brian Pollack, I'm Ryan Hoerger. We'll see you guys later.